So Pakistan is in disarray. Europe too is desperately trying to get its act together after the Ukraine invasion. European leaders did not take that threat seriously. Now they're worried about what Russia could do next. They fear the conflict could spill over. Finland is one European country that also shares a border with Russia. It is preparing for war. Civilians are learning how to use guns. Giant stockpiles of drugs and fuel are being created. And Finland's government could apply for a NATO membership. Our next report tells you more.
The worst fears of Europe are being realized. The invasion of Ukraine has made Finland jittery. Finland shares a border with Russia too. The civilians fear the conflict in Ukraine could come to them, so they are preparing. Thousands of civilians are reaching out to the reserve forces. They want military training. The reserve forces are stepping up. They are conducting training sessions. The country's National Reservist Association has around 45,000 members. It has gained more than 6,000 new members in recent months. The National Defence Training Association coordinates training events. It has seen civilian enrollment jump by 8 times. Training sessions like these are now oversubscribed. Here, civilians are learning how to shoot a gun and engage with a target. Finland's government too is preparing for war. A strategic stockpile of essentials is ready. It has 6 months of all major fuels. Pharma companies have been asked to import essential drugs. They must keep 3 to 10 months' worth of drugs with them. Last month, iodine and potassium pills flew off the shelves. Demand for anti-radiation drugs shot up by 100 times because Russia refused to rule out the use of nuclear weapons. Despite the extensive preparations, Finland feels vulnerable. It wants an effective deterrent against a potential Russian attack. In Europe, the ultimate insurance for that is a NATO membership, and Finland wants to join the club.
We have deepened our NATO partnership until now, hand in hand with Sweden, ever since Russia illegally annexed Crimea. The difference between being a partner and being a member is very clear and will remain so. There is no other way to have security guarantees than under NATO's deterrence and common defence as guaranteed by NATO's Article 5.
For the longest time, Finland has stayed neutral, but Russia's Ukraine invasion has changed public opinion. Before the war, just 20% of the Finns wanted a NATO membership. Now, 60% of the population backs the idea. Finland isn't the only one. Sweden, too, is considering joining NATO. It could make a move in June. NATO will hold a key meeting in Madrid that month. Reports claim Sweden could submit its application then. But Swedish Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson isn't committing to a deadline publicly.
I think you really must analyze the new situation, do it very seriously, think about the consequences, the pros and cons of all potential ways forward, and I think you have to be very serious in this work. This is exactly where we are right now. Finland just made their redogörelse, and we are now having the discussions with the parties in the Swedish Parliament. We also have a dialogue within my party. I wanted to have take this serious situation very seriously, and then we'll make a decision.
There is clear expression of intent from Finland and Sweden, but will NATO open its doors? NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has given his backing in public. NATO members like America, the UK, Germany, France and Turkey support the idea too. Russia has warned Finland and Sweden against NATO membership. So far, the Nordic states have ignored the threats from Moscow.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.